So now, any questions till now? Service agreements is clear. Service agreements is basically transparency to your clients, and anybody who is using your service is your client, not only patient but any agency you are dealing with. Then comes clause 4.5, which is examination by referral labs. So 4.5.1 is what? Selecting and evaluating referral labs and consultants. So whose duty is this? Who selects the referral labs and the consultants? Lab director. So it is lab director's prerogative and responsibility to select the right kind of referral lab and right kind of referral consultant. What do you mean by referral consultant? For example, you have to take another opinion, especially like in histopathology or sometimes in genetic labs, you need another opinion. So maybe you have not taken a lab on panel, but you have taken a consultant on panel, somebody outsider. So they also become your referring physician, not referring, rather your outsourced consultants. So lab shall have a documented procedure. Again, please underline documented procedure for referral labs for selecting, evaluating referral labs and consultants who provide opinions as well as interpretation for complex testing in any discipline. Agreed? So when you are writing that procedure, how will you write? Selection criteria, because it is for selecting. So you will write on what basis do you select the outsourced lab. It's nearby, it is NABL accredited, it has all that scope which you are wanting to outsource. Okay, all the tests which you are outsourcing are accredited. This also happens, a very common practice. You know what you do? Somebody has advertised NABL accredited lab, so you have tied up with that lab. Okay, you have tied up with that lab, supposing for cultures, and they are not accredited for cultures. They are accredited but for hematology, for clinical pathology, but not for microbiology. But you have tied for microbiology. So you have to be very careful. When you are tying up with another lab for outsourcing, they should be accredited for those particular tests. So when you are tying up, you are entering into an agreement, ask for their accreditation certificate as well as scope. So your agreement in your file should have copy of their certificate and copy of their scope. So it's your responsibility to take that document. Procedure shall ensure the following conditions are met. Lab, with the advice of a user of the lab services where appropriate, is responsible for selecting referral lab. Nor with the advice of the user. What do you understand by that? With the advice of the user, you are supposed to select the outsourcing lab. So user means your physicians. So what reports are coming from there should be satisfying for your physicians, because ultimately they are using the result. When you are outsourcing, you are more of a medium. They are using the results, somebody is doing the test and interpreting. So physician should be satisfied. If your physician says no, that particular lab is not performing well, I don't want results from there, so you can't force him no, and vice versa also. Sometimes physicians might have personal interest to send to a particular lab, so you have to keep a check on that also, right? Arrangements with referral labs and consultants are reviewed, evaluated periodically. See, in every documentation, review is a part. Whether service agreement, whether document control, whether quality management system, if you see every clause, there has to be a review. Every document has to be reviewed after particular time. Time is not defined anywhere in the standard. You have to define yourself. Records of such periodic reviews are maintained. Register of all referral labs and consultants from whom opinions are sought is maintained. So this is the only place where standard has mentioned the word register. So register has to be maintained for referral labs. So every day, supposing you are sending 10 tests out, keep a record, this test to this particular lab, maybe those 10 are going to different labs. This lab, result expected on this time, came on this time, handed over to the patient or consultant. So all those records have to be maintained in a register. Requests and results of samples referred are kept for a predefined period. Wherever it is written predefined period means in the procedure only you have to write. You will keep the referral reports for 6 months, 1 year, whatever. So you have to define it beforehand.
मैम इसके लिए कोई फॉर्मेट जो है वो ऐसा कोई स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट नहीं होता जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे रजिस्टर आपने बोला तो इसमें जो आप हेडिंग्स रखेंगे या जो आपको रिकॉर्ड करनी है चीज़ें
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट नहीं है, वो आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट के ऊपर है. What I am saying is generally this is what is required. आप पेशेंट की आईडी लिखोगे, नाम लिखोगे, टेस्ट लिखोगे, कौन सी लैब को भेजा लिखोगे. So why I added expected time, because what happens otherwise the person who has to see when the result is coming is sometimes not aware कि इस टेस्ट को 2 दिन लगते हैं या 1 दिन लगता है या आधा दिन लगता है. तो इट्स बेटर कि जो भेज रहा है उसने लिख दिया एक्सपेक्टेड टाइम ऑफ रिजल्ट. और देन यू कैन मैच ऑल्सो. जब रिजल्ट आया तो दैट मीन्स टर्न अराउंड टाइम ऑफ दैट लैब इज प्रॉपर इफ इट इज़ कमिंग ऑन एक्सपेक्टेड. इफ इट इज़ डिलेड देन व्हेन यू आर रिव्यूइंग तो आपको सामने आ जाएगा दैट इट इज़ विद इन दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड और द टर्न अराउंड टाइम इज़ नॉट गुड. ओके, दिस ऑल्सो यू कैन कीप एज एन इंडिकेटर. Everything can be, every activity can be kept as an indicator for improvement. Now, if you are referring your tests outside, who is the primary responsible person? Legally, who has the primary responsibility? You or the referral lab? It's you who has taken the sample, not the lab who has done the test, because you are dealing with the patient. Okay, you are taking the sample, your responsibility to legally if something goes wrong with the test. Most of the people think if I have sent the test to let's say Lals or Metropolis or SRL and if I am giving the same report to the patient, my responsibility is over. No. Whether you are giving the same report or you are transcribing on your report, responsibility is yours. And then transcription is allowed. Don't think it's wrong. Many people used to think that we are supposed to give the original report, we are not supposed to transcribe. No, you can transcribe on your pad also. But what is important in that? If you are outsourcing, getting the test done from ABCD lab, putting it back on your paper, what is important? To write underneath, test was performed at lab so and so. Okay.
So and so, just we can write up like we have outsourced this.
No, so and so.
We have to put
Where have you performed, that has to be written. Not only outsourced, but the name of the lab where you outsourced. Because it has to be disclosed to the patient. Okay. Then you are preparing the report. Then the theme of the report, your language might change, but the context or exactly what is the report, that should not change. Maybe you have more clinical information, so you add on few lines, you might advise based on the test that do these tests also, that's okay. But the original report should not change.
You can give their report format also.
You can give their report also. You give their report, keep a copy with you. When you are transcribing, give your report, keep original report with you. Your records have to be kept. And moreover, when you are writing the name of outsourced lab, okay, then the outsourced lab is also becoming legally responsible, maybe secondary responsibility. Primary is yours, but secondary responsibility comes on the lab also. So it's not that they are exempt. So it is on both the people. And when you are outsourcing, then also you have to be careful about the critical reporting also. So if there is any critical result, then you have to be in touch with the outsourced lab and inform the physician at the right time. Okay. So it may be, for example, he's asked for a falciparum result, he's expecting falciparum, it becomes critical, you've sent it out, let us say. So it's your prerogative to tell them it's urgent, give us report fast because we are expecting this kind of a result, or it is dengue, or anything which needs immediate intervention. So this was about clause 4.5. So any questions so far? Any questions? So can we just repeat all the clauses once which we have covered? Which was the first clause? Organization and management responsibility. Second, you can see and speak. Second is? No. This 4.1, 4.2. What is 4.2? Quality management system. See what is 4.2? What is 4.3? 4.4? 4.5? Examination by referral laboratories. So is that clear now? So you have to remember at least the names of the main clauses. Okay. Sub clauses nobody can remember. You can always refer to the document whenever you are auditing, but at least if you know the names of the main clauses, you know where to look at. नहीं जैसे ना नकल के लिए भी तो अकल चाहिए ना, तो पता ही नहीं होगा where is this clause written, then how will you come to know? So you have to know about the main clauses. Alright? Thank you.